You love hamsters. That's why you're watching this video. You want to see a hamster dad talk about hamsters, but specifically in this video, you want to learn about this. Yeah, actually, it's time to rinse this thing out. Haven't used it in a few days, and I'll tell you why. In the 3 weeks that I have been a hamster dad, I have learned that this is actually not the best thing for a hamster. I'm going to tell you why, but first I'm going to tell you what I have learned is what I should have instead, and he's sleeping. It's his nighttime, as you know. The Syrian hamsters are perfect nocturnal beings. So he's in his little, he's back here, he's in his little cave there. But this is actually what I have purchased. This was I think about $8. So it's so that they can run, basically it simulates them running just normal without having to do the whole wheel thing. And it's completely quiet. It was not expensive at all. I'll put that there in the middle of his cage there. Let's talk about why a hamster ball is actually not a good thing. So imagine too, I'm new to this whole thing. I'm learning as I go. So of course I immediately bought a hamster ball when we got the hamster actually. Here's the problem with one of these. Let's imagine what it's like to be a hamster. You have tiny little eyes. Basically, they can only see between 2 to 3 inches from their face. So imagine if your vision were limited like this. Imagine you had amazing hearing and amazing scent. And then you're put into a plastic ball where there's really nothing to smell and really definitely nothing to see. If you can only see 2 to 3 inches and then it's just a cloudy color anyway, you can't see. So the senses you do have are basically pointless. What are you going to smell? Ultimately, what are you going to hear besides yourself going in this ball? And then what happens? And then you just go until you crash into something. Now, it's natural, because this was me, it's natural to see this happening. Oh, it's funny, the hamster likes it. That's the assumption. But imagine this. And I've learned this with my hamster. Pretty much, I can provide any kind of tunnel-like structure for him to go in. You put this in front of a hamster, again, he can only see 2 to 3 inches. He goes inside of it. You even have this. Okay, look at this random buffalo thing. I don't even know. My son was at the library and they have this table where they just give stuff away. I guess it's just an old decoration. And the hamster, if you put him up to the buffalo, he sees this and he'll want to go underneath it. I don't need to tell you that hamsters like to crawl through things, right? It's their instincts. They're burrowers, right? They're always digging these tunnels. That's what they're going to do. So naturally, you get a hamster ball, you open it up, and it's going to look around and it's going to jump in. And that's what their instincts are to do. And oh, but he's rolling around in it. He clearly likes it. Well, see, that's the thing though. If you got into a giant ball like that, a giant sphere like that, the moment you start moving your legs or arms, you're going to be moving. And again, there's no way to stop it. So either he's going to sit there and it doesn't move, or he's going to move. And that's why hamsters are typically moving or they're sleeping, right? There's not a whole lot of in between unless they're bathing themselves, right? So ultimately what I've learned, and I learned this from one of my first videos that I made last week where someone who has a hamster left me a comment, and that is they said you need to get a wheel in there. So I preferred this kind, and I know, and it's becoming common knowledge that these stores will sell wheels that are actually dangerous and bad for the hamsters, especially the ones with the little wires where they can get their feet caught in. This, I don't see what the problem is. There's enough space for it in this 20-gallon aquarium. He can run as long as he wants to. He's getting plenty of exercise. And granted, I used to give him at least 30 minutes a day in this thing. So what about that? What is he getting enough exercise? Well, ultimately, I'm going to say I feel he's getting what he needs, because in addition to having access to this wheel all day long, it's a ritual that every morning, or actually every evening, as we're getting kids ready to bed. What? As we're getting the kids ready for bed, that's what I'm trying to say. He's up, and when I see him up and go around, I'll reach and I'll grab him. And now 3 weeks in, I've got to this point where I can just, and I showed it in another video, where I can just have him, he'll crawl over all of my hands, and just basically like I'm juggling a hamster, and I can just do that for, 20, 30 minutes. And then he gets enough, and then he kind of starts looking for his cage, and I put him back in, and then he cleans himself, and during that time I refill his food and water if he needs it. So I think more than anything, now he's got access to safe exercise, which is good for him. He's able to burrow in this aquarium that I got him instead of a cage, and then I'm giving him socialization with me and the family and the kids, because I'm able to hold him and play with him and let them if they want to. So he's being socialized, he's got exercise, he's got enough space. So I feel that he's in a pretty good situation. Now granted, I've only been a hamster dad for 3 weeks, so I've got more to learn, So anything you can tell me to help me, please do. But if you're new to this or even thinking about getting a hamster, I would definitely say do not get a hamster ball for the reasons I described. There's multiple reasons. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do when you can actually spend less money or the same amount of money for one of those type of wheels at the same pet store, and it's actually better for them. Oh, but then you say, but what about my cage? It's not big enough for that. Well, then you've got a bigger problem, and that was me just tripping over the hamster ball, if you're wondering. So, because this is the original cage we bought. I've already made a video about this, the arcade. This, while they make it seem marketed for a teddy bear hamster Assyrian, it's not. This is way too small for the hamster, and ultimately the biggest problem, in addition to him constantly wanting to escape, is he would go up in here, this would be his bed, and then he would pee on this side. It was just a big mess. And so now that we have the aquarium, it takes care of that problem, because quite predictably, like he's supposed to, he just pees right here. So he pees in this corner, this is his bed, and everything else is over there. And actually, for my next hamster video, I might as well do like Cribs was at the show on MTV where they'd show you. How about I just do that for the next video? We'll pick up there. If you got any comments, advice, please let me know, because I'm here to learn, and I can probably make a video on that and help out other people. Thanks for watching. I am Hamster Dad. Your comments belong right here.